Okay, so I found your problem. I looked at each one of the screenshots that you sent me. So I'll start with, I believe it's 29. Let me do show all. So we start with 29. I believe 29 is fine. So we look at that when there's at the event begin play going to your roam. So that one's fine. The next one is going to be screenshot 30 that you sent me. This is the beginning of your roam, AI to the radius. This is fine, and then it goes back to the roam, so then that way it does this continuously. The next one is screenshot 31. So we'll open up that one. This is just the back end of that, which we couldn't see, which is good. That's fine. 32 is when we get into this. So the chase is correct. That is what we need to do. We need to get the we need to follow the it needs to follow the first person player, and it's going to chase them, and it's going to be the pawn that's going to move, and then on success it's going to chase again, and if it fails it'll go back to roam. And this part is correct. The event tick with the bind event to on pawn C, it is sensing. You've created a new custom event. I'd probably name that. Just so if you need to recall it later, you know what it is. It is going to cast to first person character, and we do want it to go to chase, so it does do this. So it does follow the player when it sees it. Now the problem is that from here we need to get the firing event, because right now we're binding the event pawn seeing to chase, but there is no shooting. So when I look at what you did with the next one, which is where you're showing me the pawn sensing, the on pawn C, well, this one is the event death for the animation character, so that's not important for us. That's a duplicate of it, so I don't need two. And let's go to number 34, and that's the back end of the death. Then we go to 35. So 35 is where I found out, okay, so basically what you need to do is you need to get rid of this, the on pawn sensing, and you need to connect the sequence here. You can add the rotation, but essentially I would get rid of, and I don't know if I have a way to be able to annotate on this screen. Let me see if I can do maybe something like this. Crop. Does it let me? So that part of the code, this needs to go away. We don't need to have the rotation and all that other stuff, and the on pawn sensing. And the part that we want to keep is this part of the branch. This branch will be attached to the end of this. So that branch, you cut off all the rotation stuff, and you had the branch directly from, so you would connect off of this node right here directly into that if. So then what that does is it makes the pawn sensing is getting it from here. You don't need it twice. And what happens when you do it twice is that this one supersedes the other one, because this one keeps getting ticked. So because the tick is checking every fraction or every frame of every second, so if your frame rate is at 30, it's checking 30 times a second to create this, and it never goes into the shooting part because you don't have the shooting part attached to this. So let me show you what mine looks like as far as the code, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to go back to my first my character, my reverent character. I'm going to open up his, and you'll see that there's the picture from the first one. So this is what we saw, and you have yours ending right here. What you need to do is delete all that other stuff that I said, delete that part, and attach the branch, which is where this is coming from, where it's going to start the projectile directly to the chase. So what happens is it checks all the time. Once it sees you, it starts to chase after you and also shoot. So these two things are stuck together as opposed to being separate pieces of code, which is what you've shown me in the pictures that you sent. So once you've done that, then, and really this code doesn't change. It stays exactly the same. The only thing that's changing is where it's connected to, which is off of this event tick chase, and then the shooting part would go into this. I don't think that the rotation would be an issue. You could probably leave the rotation in. The only problem with the rotation is since you're getting your pawn sensing is happening from here. I actually don't have any rotation anywhere on this character. If you look at the code that I've written for this character, it doesn't have any rotation. It's using its pawn sensing to figure out where you are, so you don't need to give it a rotation. And I just have it going straight from the chase directly into the part of the code that goes into the shooting, and not as two separate pieces. So with that said, that should help. That does make this character do what it's supposed to do, which is chase after you and shoot when it sees you, because it's attached to the event tick and not to the on pawn sensing, which is what you did. You just grabbed it from the other character and dumped it into here, as opposed to connecting it the way it should. So I hope that helps.